Hey, good morning, everybody. It is April 20th, 2026, and the favorite time of our week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, everybody. My name's Paul.
Good morning. My name is Bev.
My name is Bev.
My
That's
name is
B
Bev.
E V with a capital B.
Yeah, capital B. That's right.
Hey, everybody. We got a great little show for you today. Bev and I were talking a little bit about in the days that we were students, as we still are, and how, we had these teachings all the time. And I was reminded of that somehow this week about don't believe anything. When the guy I was studying with once, anybody would ask him, well, do you believe this and do you believe that? And he would always say, I don't believe anything. And it was like, wait a minute, how could you not believe anything? We all have beliefs.
Well, yeah.
So, what does that mean in relation to biotouch? Why would we say something, don't believe anything? So, let's investigate that a little bit. And especially in this day where, there's people all over our internet feeds, telling us, follow me, I know the way, buy this product.
Believe in me. I know
Yep.
what I'm saying
I
and
know what
doing.
I'm saying. I have the data to show it, and people are calling themselves experts after 20 years, like I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm an expert in the field of da 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 da. And then
Oh, I'm so impressed.
I know, and I keep thinking, well, let's see if I've been doing this for 35 years. What does
That
that
makes
make
you an
me?
ultra expert.
Ultra expert who doesn't believe anything. So let's talk about that. What does belief create? We were talking with chat and ourselves today. What does it create when you start
Yeah.
believing something?
Well, my first thought for me is you start believing something, and then, you can go a couple ways. It can go into fanaticism, of course, but it's so limiting. If this is my truth. This is what I believe in. Well, that's wonderful, but it stops us from looking at all the bigger pictures and all the different sides of something and questioning.
Yes.
If you're not questioning anything and you're okay with all what you've been told or what you are embracing, then frankly, you're really not opening yourself up to the possibilities of growing and things like that. So for me, that's what this belief system is because there's different uh, phases of it and different degrees. Like I said, you have the extremes sometimes.
Right. And I liked how you even used that word truth, my truth, your truth, follow your
Yeah, what's
truth.
that all
Right.
about?
I'm like, there's
Right.
only one truth. Truth is
One truth.
true. And if you want to say, I have a belief, okay, my
Right.
truth, my belief,
Right.
so, and,
Yeah.
a lot of times, even in relation to biotouch, y- y- you know, 35 years of doing this, I'm not really sure I believe that it works. I find it hard to just believe. Somebody new will come into the center and I'm like, oh my God, is this going to work again for this? So they'll have
I
some
know.
disease. Is this going to work?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and it's not that we say, "Oh my God, look at this. I knew my belief would hold true that I believe that this about biotouch." The what we holding this neutral point, this neutral space in biotouch is it's more than just a belief, it's experiencing it.
Right.
That tells the tale. You don't have to use words and say, "Oh, biotouch works because the," not necessary.
Well, and that's interesting too. We have that research, right? The research doesn't tell you anything. you know,
It
I
tells
mean,
you that we just did a cute
we
little
right, we get a cute little thing. That's a good word. We did a cute little experiment. We tested a bunch of people and how they felt. And yet I just did a presentation for this elder community school thing,
right.
and most people were very, very positive about it, but there were a couple of guys who said, that research, it doesn't really
That's
tell us anything. This is just
a
a
bunch
bunch
of
of
bull.
quackery.
Yeah, quackery. You're a quacker.
And yeah, put me between jelly, peanut butter and jelly.
Right. Graham crackers.
And I and it's great to stand up in front of a group of people. And I said to them, hey, maybe, maybe
I'm
it
not
is
here to
that.
ask you to believe me.
Right. Do
That's
not
not
believe
what
what
you're
I have to
doing.
say. If you want to try this, if you want to take it home and try it, that's great. Of which, of course, some of the people in the group tried it, and one woman who had headache all day, it went away immediately. Well, does that because she believed in it, or she experienced something when her husband did those points on her? The touch knew. It didn't have to
That's
believe,
right.
you know.
That's right. The body just experiences
Right.
something. There's no belief or I don't believe this. In fact, it's interesting that when we have all experienced other people's results or whatever you want to call it, when they have practiced biotouch, the first thing I think of when if they say anything like, "Wow, this happened," my first thing is quickly like, oh, I don't believe that. That can't be true. So there's a level of doubt,
Right.
which keeps me, I think, open to all the possibilities.
Well, Thoreau used to say, even doubt has some divinity. So,
That's right.
yeah.
It's it keeps the door open.
Yes, and when you give up belief, when you were talking about it earlier, there's a sense of excitement in that. It's like a child. A child doesn't believe,
Oh yeah.
A child experiences life, and it's when its eyes can start focusing on things and see beyond, some
Oh, the
extraterrestrial
newness
being.
is
Yeah, the
something.
newness of, or an airplane flies over, and these little kids, they're going, oh wow, and they don't even know what it is, right? They have no descriptions.
No, you know, that reminds me. I mean, I'm not going to go into the uh, thing, but the story I told about the woman in Oregon before I left, she had the mass. The moment she got the news, because we'd been doing BioTouch for like 2.5 months on a very consistent basis, she got a call from her doctor that said the mass had shrunk for the first time in 2 years. That mass was smaller. And she looked at me and she goes, and I don't care what you and Paul say. You always say you don't know this and you don't know this about BioTouch. But I'm telling you right now, I know for a fact that BioTouch did this. And I still went, really? Okay.
Right.
I, I felt this pressure on me to
To
believe.
believe. Right. You better believe.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, you better. Wow, that was pretty heavy. I'm
Well,
like,
it's
I don't know.
it's the experience you had. You were telling me earlier about the cyst, the sty that you had on your eye.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the second time in my life I've ever had anything like that. You know how it feels. It's kind of like a
Right.
bummer. Anyway, I remember when the last time that we did the show last month, and that you had um, done the eye set on me and really kind of worked around that area. And I didn't think about it because I was, I was doing my shift that day after the show. So, I just kind of got on with it. And on the way home, I realized, hey, what happened to the pain in my eye? And then when I looked at it, I thought, well, the sty's gone. It's a little bit red where it was, but oh, it's all gone. And my first thing was that BioTouch is amazing. And then I thought, now wait a minute, you've been doing the eye set on other people all day. There's that. You have been using some ointment. So, you go, well,
Well, maybe.
maybe, but I don't know.
So
Yeah,
it's like when I worked on my mother, right? Here she is in a coma
yeah.
for 3 weeks, and they said if she lived, she'd be a vegetable. And I'm working doing BioTouch 3 times a day, and I'm noticing changes on the machines, blood pressure. I'm noticing she doesn't have to take any metabolic medication, even though she's
Oh,
not moving for 3 weeks.
right.
And the short of that story, 6 months later, she's walking on a beach in Hawaii. And even to this day, I can't say that it was BioTouch. All I know is that's what we did. And I know I learned that I wish I had that to teach all the people in ICU, because it
Oh,
gave them something they could do. It gives us
do
something
it.
to do in a usually
Yeah.
helpless situation without having to believe in it, because you're not projecting energy. You're not projecting healing thoughts, because we don't know what healing means for that person.
Not really.
You
Not
know,
really.
you don't have
Not
to get permission from that person. I didn't
That's
have to
right.
wake my mother up from a coma to get permission to do biotouch on her. There's that
Right.
concept. Oh, you need to get permission from the person you're working with.
Yes.
I'm
Right.
like,
Well, that's a good thought because your mother was unconscious in a
right,
coma. You there was no, she was not awake to really experience oh, that feels good, or oh, that I think I'm feeling better, or man, I believe that biotouch. She wasn't even present. And what you did was you gave her body, as
right,
we were saying, the body doesn't believe this or that. The body just reacts to that loving touch. So
right.
your mom did not need to be conscious in order for her body to
To know,
experience,
right, to know, to experience,
to
to
know.
which
Yes,
which is beyond belief. A body, the cell,
that's my
it's not
point.
about a
Yes,
belief system.
exactly.
It's a what is it? It's a part of our experience as sentient beings in this life, you know.
Well,
And go ahead.
if biotouch really does communicate at the cellular level, that's the body's territory. Has nothing to do with our our emotional state at the time, our mental state at the time. This is why it's so powerful and it begins on the body. And we keep saying, just touch the body.
Right.
That is the key to it all. And that working with your mother was really kind of brought that home.
Yeah.
She wasn't even around to have a thought or a feeling or.
And it reminds me again of that woman that you worked with in that free clinic where hundreds of people are, and there's
Yeah.
all these chaos in this huge auditorium, and some people are getting blood pressure tests, some are getting their teeth pulled, and somebody
Yeah.
sent this woman over because she had high blood pressure or something, or
Oh, the one that you're talking about had just about everything you can think of. She was telling me all of her, conditions, what she's been going through. Been hearing about this BioTouch. I want to try it. Yeah, what happened was she lost consciousness as I was doing the headset on her. But as I was telling you earlier, Dr. Stevenson, when I told her what happened, made so much sense. And this comes back to us. This woman literally lost consciousness. So here we go again, like your mom. She was not, oh, wow, that feels good. Oh, I'm feeling tingling. Oh, that kind of stuff. She wasn't even there. And I was doing this. Kenneth said, when your body is in that kind of a crisis, when you introduce to the body that gentle, loving, non-invasive touch, it shocks the body. It's so different from what she's been going through because she is in a point of tension in her body and trauma. And then
right,
you just lightly touch and the body just kind of loses its wow, kind of like reboots itself,
reboot. That's good.
you
Yeah,
know? And
right.
I and then she just wakes up out of this going, "Good Lord, woman, what did you do to me? I went to heaven." I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you're back."
Yeah, and
Crazy.
that's the beauty of biotouch. It's the experience of the individual, and there's no way you can't even explain it to people.
No.
That's people. Well, what is biotouch? Well, we have this system back here, and there's these points, and you use the index and middle finger of each hand,
Yeah.
and we have research to show this or that. Some of the best recipients I love working with are people who are just skeptical, or especially a man whose wife drags him in and says, "Ah, just try this," and you know, or
Internet.
Yeah, or when we teach a class, and a lot of times there'll be women who'll say, "Oh yeah, my husband, he thinks I'm into all this woo-woo stuff," and
Yep.
the main thing I say to them is, "Look, you just go home and you tell your husband, I need to practice. You don't tell them they need to feel anything. You don't tell them you're going to help them. The last thing we need is somebody's going to help us."
Oh gosh, no, no, we don't know that's true.
Right.
No.
So just say you need somebody to practice on, and time again,
Yeah.
they'll come back and they'll say, "Did you pay my husband or something?" I mean, he's asking me to do it again. If I need more practice, I'm happy to be there.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
body
Right.
knows it. It knows that,
Your body knows.
as Ken has said, it's the kangaroo touch. We know that our first sense when we come into the world is touch, and
Yes.
that's the sense of love. And the last sense we have when we die is touch, which is the last sense of expression of love. And the
Right.
greatest thing we can do in our life is touch as an expression of love.
Love.
And
Yeah.
that doesn't take belief.
Nope.
It's
I
just
can guarantee you 90% of the people who have ever actually learned biotouch and became certified or whatever did not do so because they truly believed it was just they did it because they understood the gift that biotouch has to offer them as someone who can put love into action with other people.
right.
I don't, you don't, this thing about, oh my God, I believe that this is the most amazing thing. I believe this. And I've never really heard too many people. Maybe it's because we kind of make that clear when we teach. It's like, really, guys, just do it.
Right.
You don't have to believe anything. It's up to the body anyway, isn't it?
And it reminds me of that CIA agent in our very first classes in Mancos, Colorado, there, where he, ex-CIA agent who said, I've been involved in a lot of revolutions, but I've never seen one as powerful as this, because this one is based on love. And, that wasn't about belief.
No.
That was because people were participating. They
Yeah.
were experiencing together in that little town, in that little hotel room,
Right.
something that expressed love without belief.
And connected them.
Yes, connected.
Connected them. And that I don't know. That's the other part of BioTouch gift, especially at this time in our global crisis. The humanity is crisis happens what? Because we're waking up, and more people are beginning to understand that wow, we're not separated. This BioTouch is here to really kind of confirm that for us and gives us something that we can physically connect with each other.
Yep.
That's powerful.
So learn it, and people we have around the world. Doesn't matter your language. We had a woman from Switzerland, our certified practitioner. She taught some people. We have Germany. We have in Egypt. All these different languages,
Yeah.
and yet there's something in common.
It,
The
universal.
universal. Take that index and middle finger and touch another person lightly. If you need more, go to justtouch.com. We're here every Monday yakking about it. Not because we believe in it, because we like listening to ourselves talk. So,
We're just created two little monsters
yeah,
here.
right. We'll see you all next week. Thank you, Bev.
Hi, thanks, Paul. Thanks, everyone.
Days in and days out, space and time is all about feeling pressure with the pain, in sunshine or in the rain. Living is a place in mind, giving is being kind, and the pain is too much. What we need is BioTouch. When I'm touching you, you are touching me. It's a simple thing to do and a natural way to be.